homies, and welcome back. Got the glasses on. I think I might make this a common occurrence now because hey, it's almost like Casey Neistat. I want to feel like a VIP, and these glasses just stand out and shit. So today I'm gonna try to keep this shit stable, none of this swinging shit, because curtailing off of last video I talked about Guam versus Japan and hospitality, right? I was doing a Google search and I just typed in Guam versus Japan. I couldn't find anything that correlated to what I wanted, but I did click on the web part of the Google search and I actually found this website. And so basically when I typed in Guam versus Japan, I found this website. It's called mylifeelsewhere.com, and it's basically, it compares Guam or any country you want. Basically there's drop-down menus such as Guam, and you know, it's in alphabetical order. You can look up Botswana if you want, or you know, fucking Kiribati, I think that's called Kiribati, Macau, Luxembourg, or whatever you want, to any other country of your choosing. So I clicked on the website, it brought me to this specific page. You can rearrange the order, but basically it's saying what would happen if you move to the country from wherever you're originating. So it says if you move to Japan from Guam, you would. So that's what I'm gonna do about this video. I'm gonna show you what this website says, and I'm gonna try to, you know, say agree or disagree to what they are saying. Okay, so obviously you can see number one, if you move to Japan from Guam, you would make 29.3% more money every year. Yeah, I believe that that's pretty much true, because there is a lot of there is some poverty here. There are a bit of the homeless out there that you will find. When I was in Japan, I didn't see that many homeless people. However, they could just, you know, hide them, or there's like specific cities where you can find them. I don't know, okay? Just wherever I went, I didn't really see any. But here, you can see some, right? Some on the roadways and whatever, the sidewalks where walking around, or you know, chilling at a bus stop or something like that. So this can be true. Plus, in Japan, there's like way more businesses and stuff out there, for, more opportunities to have a job, you know. And on top of that, when I was in Japan, in the subway, or you know, when I was riding on the subways, almost every dude was wearing a suit, some kind of business suit. It didn't look like high class or anything, but there was a lot of people in suits. So obviously there were business people, they were salary men, they were working. And there is some sort of a stereotype with like Japanese, they overwork themselves. That's why you see a lot of them sleeping on the trains, or you know, working till late hours or whatever. So yeah, I can see that happening, where you know, they're just constantly working. You can live 5.6 years longer. Yes, once again, I think that is true. And what are the contributing factors? Well, I think that the diet, of course, they do eat a lot more healthier foods there. A lot of their foods are fresh. When you go to a restaurant, a lot of their foods is all fresh and stuff. They do have fast food and stuff, but it isn't as predominant as it is here. Fast food and you know, fatty foods and things like that. Even if you go to fiestas, most of the food there is not that super healthy. It's very tasty, but health is not really a factor when it comes to foods at fiestas or parties or whatever. As well as walking. You know, in Japan, walking is a common thing. Here, you don't see that many locals walking to wherever they need to go, right? It's always driving. Granted, Guam is very hilly and stuff, and most things are really far away, so you actually really do need some form of transportation to get wherever you need to go in a, you know, good amount of time. But it is also hot as hell here sometimes, or it rains really bad sometimes. So it's, you know, yeah, walking isn't that great. Only in specific places will you see people walking. But over there, walking is the norm. Walking and using the bikes and whatever. So I do tend to agree that you do happen to live longer there, because there's just more exercise and healthier diets. You consume 33.4% less electricity per capita. I mean, considering that it is a bigger place, I do kind of think that maybe they do consume less, because they might not need, you know, here on Guam, air conditioning is running like 24/7. like I said before, it's hot as fuck sometimes here, and air conditioning is like really important on this island because, you know, we want to live comfortable, right? So that's where I think, you know, the energy is used up, is through, you know, air conditioning and things like that. I think because most apartments there are smaller, they consume less electricity for cooling and heating and whatever, as well as, you know, if your TVs are smaller, or you just consume less power is what I'm saying. They got smaller fridges, their laundry and stuff is smaller, everything's basically smaller, so obviously they're gonna consume less energy, I think, in my opinion. This one's a doozy. Be 61% less likely to die in your infancy. So by the time you reach 1, 5 infants die more than they do here. I mean, they die here more than they do there, sorry. I do think the contributing factor is that in Japan, birth rates are very, very low there. I think I heard or something, read something about that, where, you know, they're trying to, you know, increase the birth rates because it's just slow over there. Like, generations or something, there's gonna be a big gap between generations because not enough of their people is having enough babies to like support the race or something like that. I think that's what I read. Like, they're really trying to make more babies over there, so I would think that's why you'd be less likely to die, because they're having less over there. And then on top of that, you know, the healthy diets and whatever, that might be contributing factors, as well as living factors, as well as maybe birth defects might happen because this is such a small island. Sometimes you never know who you might be related to. Like, you might meet some girl in the club and you might do some stuff and maybe a baby might come about it, but then you find out that you're actually related. I mean, that shit could happen here because you may never know, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, stuff can happen. I think, yeah. Move to Japan, you'd be 50% less likely to be unemployed. I think I previously stated that earlier with per capita poverty, or what was it? Make more money. So yeah, that does correlate with each other. Like, if you're gonna make more money, then obviously you're not gonna be unemployed. Now, this is the only red bubble. Everything else is green, which means it's better to go to Japan. This is the only red when it comes to Japan, and I already explained why. They have 52% fewer babies in Japan. Like I said earlier, there's just something where they don't want to have too many babies over there. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's either by choice. I don't think they have that rule like they do in China where you can only have a set number of kids or something like that, because China is just like too many kids, you know what I'm saying? So here in Japan, they just aren't having as many kids as they are anywhere else, right? Here on Guam, we are having a plenty amount of kids, okay? Few of my coworkers, they said themselves they don't want to have another baby, but then boom, they're having another baby. Shit just happens, you know what I'm saying? Sex is probably the most entertaining thing to do here on the island sometimes. I mean, you can go hiking, you can go swimming, you can go out clubbing and things like that, but ultimately, at the end, you're gonna be wanting to do some sexing, okay? And whether or not you want to buy that protection or the contraceptives or whatever, that's your choice and your risk. That's just one of the fun things to do here on the island. Be 30.4% less likely to be below the poverty line. This also correlates to the unemployment as well as making the money. Obviously, if you're making less here, then you're gonna be below the poverty line and you're gonna be unemployed. This one's kind of like a weird one, but you're gonna have 23,606% increase in coastline. I don't know why this is a thing, because obviously there's more coastline in Japan, because obviously Japan is a bigger landmass than Guam. You're gonna only see so much of Guam, right? So I don't think this should be a thing, but obviously it is. So yeah, that's about it. All they show, you can compare Philippines to Guam. They also have some little etiquette and tips and just, like I said earlier in the last video, tipping can sometimes be considered an insult. Cheers, kampai. Now let's try Philippines. There's a big Filipino community here, and so let's see what they say about if you move to Guam from the Philippines, so they say that you'll make more money here. I can see that. That's why there is a lot of Filipinos that basically expedite themselves to other countries so they can make more money to send back to the Philippines. They have that box. I forget what it's called, but it's a box where they fill it up with a whole bunch of stuff like goodies and food and clothes or whatever, and they send it back to the Philippines. I saw it on like Anthony Bourdain's show. It's a common thing. It's that I forgot what the box is called, but you probably know what it is. But yeah, a lot of people leave the Philippines so that they can just make more money to send back to their family. You'll live 6.3 years longer. You'll consume more energy. Okay. Be less likely to die. Be more likely to be unemployed. Is that right? Oh, you actually be more unemployed in Guam than you would in the Philippines. That's okay. Yeah, okay. I kind of see that because I think that in the Philippines they have jobs for almost anything, right? There was a complaint or a thing here when I was working at Cold Stone where Filipino families would come in, right? They order their ice cream and whatever, they'll sit at a specific table, and then when they're done, they would just leave everything on the table, right? Trash, whatever they didn't finish, they'll leave it on the table. Now here, that's obviously considered a rude thing, right? You should clean up after yourselves. But back in the Philippines, they have people that it's their specific job to clean up the tables, like in cafeterias or food courts. They actually tell you to leave it there because you're basically doing their job for them or something like that, and they won't get paid or something. That's what I heard, okay? So obviously there's just gonna be more jobs that are jobs that you wouldn't really normally see in America. Like where in America are you gonna have a job that says table cleaner, like specifically? Like of course they're gonna have custodians or whatever that's they're gonna clean up anything extra, like spills or whatever, but to leave everything on the table so that the people can do their job, I don't know. It doesn't have a lot of information like etiquette for the Japan one, but obviously in here like it's like 50-50, right, to live in either place. But in Japan there's only one thing better about Guam, and that's that you have more babies. So obviously Japan wins in this website. You go here if you want to have babies. That's the island of babies, baby. So yeah, I just wanted to show that to you guys because I just found it and I thought it was like pretty interesting and whatnot. So I hope you enjoy. Stay tuned for more episodes of whatever it is I feel like talking about. If you want me to talk about something specific, please let me know, because obviously my shit's all random. It's basically whatever I feel like talking about the time, that's when I film it and talk about it. So please like, comment, subscribe, ask me something. I don't care what it is, just ask. I'll try to answer it to the best of my abilities. But if it is something maybe personal, I'll think about it, okay? But until then, love, peace, and chicken grease. Thanks for watching, guys. Much love.
Waking up, cigarette smoked, and it's back to these hopes of me packing out crowd.